Imagine starting a passion project because you wanted to share something and you were hoping that people would listen. You spend 3 years of your life on it, pouring in blood, sweat, and tears, hundreds of hours learning how to edit because it doesn't come naturally to you as you don't consider yourself a particularly creative person. All of those hours of work amounting to only a couple hundred views per video when you really think that there's potential for much more. And just when you're about to give up because you think that nobody is listening and that nobody cares about what you have to say, your first video goes viral. Hi friends, I think that it's been long enough since I made my last video. I thought that we could grab a beverage and do a little FaceTime catch up of everything that I've been up to over the past year and a half, I want to say. Since the last time that I've posted a video on here, I have gotten a second dog. This is Leo. I've also taken and passed my INBDE, which is a written board exam. I've taken and passed the ADEX CDCA first part, which is the practical licensing exam, and I've also matched into residency. So a lot of things have happened. I think the last video that I had posted was in October of 2023, which I can't even believe that it's been that long. Oh, and also the color is so pretty. I've genuinely missed making videos like this in this format. Some of you may know because I was trying to kind of cross promote the fact that I was making content on TikTok, and I didn't initially intend for it to be anything big or to make a kind of a full transition over to TikTok, which I kind of ended up doing. But there were certain things that happened that made me make the switch. I want to tell you guys about them and I want to be very transparent, but I genuinely missed having these kinds of conversations and having a little creativity and fun in editing longer form videos. So that's what this chat is all about. So actually, I lied. My last video, I completely forgot that I made this video, but my last video that I had posted was in April of 2024 when I had just taken and passed the INBDE. So I guess you guys knew about that, which is great. And if you follow me over on Instagram or TikTok, you've gotten more life updates. But again, I feel like every platform that you make content on is completely different. The vibes and community and comment sections of all of those places are very different. But the reason why I stopped making more long form content, spending so much of my time filming content for YouTube, and then it would take me hours and hours of editing, and I was doing this all on the side as a dental student. I would say that I made videos consistently for about 2 years from my first and second year of dental school. I wouldn't say that I was consistent, meaning I was making a video every week or even 2 videos a week like some people recommend to see growth on YouTube. It was more so just a way to do a digital diary and to document everything that was happening, and so they were a little bit more sporadic than that. And then in the third year it got a lot more sporadic, and that was partly because I was studying for the board exam and partly because I was just feeling very uninspired and discouraged by putting so much time and effort into creating content and really not seeing it reflected in the reach that I thought that it should be getting. So in that time, I had been making videos on TikTok for probably a year or so at that point, and then all of a sudden I had my first viral video. That viral video made me gain 10,000 followers overnight, and I had been making videos for a year at that point and only saw maybe 1,000 to 2,000 followers, which is still a huge amount when you think about 1,000 people in a room. But then to gain 10,000 followers from one video pretty much overnight showed me that this is insane. And I've never been able to see that kind of growth on any platform. Part of it was that I was starting to doubt myself and starting to think maybe people don't really care about what I have to say. Maybe my content isn't that good, and maybe it's not that interesting to watch or listen to, and maybe I'm not sharing valuable information. So maybe I should just stop. That was my thought process at that point. And then it was such a silly thing. I made a video, I was on vacation, I made a video about going into a French pharmacy and looking for a toothpaste that I had heard about because it had pretty packaging. That's all it was. And they had fun flavors. When I say that video took off for me, it took off because every subsequent video that I started making after that video started going bananas. I'm talking, I went from having 500 views on a video, 1,200 views on a video, to having 5 million views on a video, and then 200,000, another million. And I was not prepared for the amount of attention that my content started getting. But I also realized that there was so much that I could do with this much traction and with this many eyeballs on things that I was saying. At first, it started with me just doing a toothpaste taste test, and I started just trying the different flavors of toothpaste at the same time while throwing in an oral health tip here and there of like, here's how I actually brush my teeth, and that people use too much toothpaste when they're using it. I realized people were asking me questions, and I was really excited because for the first time, people were seeking me out for my expertise. And obviously, I'm not an expert. I don't consider myself an expert, but I was in dental school. I had been learning these things business for 3 years at that point. I thought, well, better me than someone who's just trying to sell a product on TikTok shop, telling people that oil pulling is going to cure all of their issues. I realized just how many people were searching the internet, including TikTok, for oral health information. I guess at that point, I realized that I do have things that are valuable that people are interested in hearing, and I can make content that can be useful to people, and I can make a difference on social media, and I can put in the effort and have reach. I was making content for years at that point, and I was getting so discouraged because I didn't believe that any of those things were true. I was receiving comments here and there of people that are trying to get into dental school, and I did really feel like I was helping. But when I realized the sheer number of people that are just searching for some sort of oral health advice on social media because they can't access a dentist regularly, I realized just how big the information gap is. For the first time, I was encouraged by the amount of views that I was getting and the amount of followers, and people were taking and listening to my advice. I started sharing more. I made a video sharing a story about the danger of online misinformation, and that went viral to like 5 million views. I think it's my biggest video still to this day if you look at my TikTok. That video was purely just me sharing my frustration about how some of these oral health tips from non-qualified people online can actually physically hurt patients. I shared a story, obviously without any identifying information, just as a cautionary tale to other people because I saw it happen so often. So when I started seeing a huge amount of growth, I realized that I had a talent for it. And the other thing that I realized was that for my most viral content, it wasn't something that I sat out, planned out, filmed, edited for hours. It was something that I thought up in a minute, filmed it the next minute, edited it for 10, and then just posted it. That was it. And for me, that low time investment for the huge amount of return, because you didn't have to have this high production quality video in order for it to do well, it allowed me to push so much good information out there. I made a video about how to properly floss that I just filmed with a clip-on light and in my bathroom. I had a news article written about me just because the number of comments of people saying, I can't believe I didn't learn this in decades of my life, was huge. And that's when I realized the impact that putting this information out there can have. Now, did I think that people could benefit from it in the long form in a video like this? Absolutely. But what I realized is that people's attention spans are short, and I wanted to push out as much content as I could, reaching the people in a 1-minute clip, in a 2-minute clip, in a 3-minute video, but sharing information that I would want any of my patients to have, and just things that I share with people on the daily. I saw growth from that, and I saw people being thankful and people sending messages and asking more questions, and that was really encouraging for me because, again, I was being sought out for some sort of expertise, and I was happy to share because if you know me in real life, you know that I can't shut up about teeth. Literally in every single conversation, regardless of whether I'm meeting somebody new or I'm with my friends that have known me for years, I will find some way to bring up teeth and talk about them in conversation, just because that is truly one of the biggest passions in my life, and it is something that I will never ever stop talking about. So this gave me an outlet, but it removed the barrier of sitting down, looking put together, editing this video, and then posting it out there for it to not reach as many people. I guess what I'm trying to say is I got pulled in by the ease of making the content and also the reach of the content, because it was numbers that I couldn't even dream of having on YouTube. Even though I know if I had continued making videos and I had made, you know, 2 videos a week for a year or 2 years or however long they recommend, I probably would have seen growth here as well. It's just the time investment here versus on TikTok or Instagram was completely different. At that point, I wasn't ready for it, but I think I'm ready for it now. When I stopped making videos on here consistently, it made me really sad. People were asking me about it. People that were my regular viewers, there weren't that many of them, but people that knew me in real life that looked forward to catching up and watching one of my videos kept asking me, you know, when am I going to see the next SmilesPending video? People that saw me in real life that didn't know that I had a TikTok were saying, I haven't seen a YouTube video from you in a while. What happened? I missed your vlogs. It made me realize that even though my audience here was, in perspective, small, it still made a huge impact. When I tell you guys that during my 2nd, 3rd, even 4th year, to this day, I still have D1s and D2s recognizing me in the hallways and coming up to me and saying, your videos were one of the reasons why I chose to come here, because I saw your vlogs and it just looked like it was a great program and you had a lot of fun and you were learning a lot. So thank you. I never took that for granted, because if I helped even a singular person make an informed decision about where to spend the next 4 years of their life and $500,000 in tuition, I pride myself on that. And it's not something that is a small feat, and I completely recognize that. And to every single person that watched my videos in the past and enjoyed the vlogs and has come up to me and told me about it in person, I will forever be grateful for you giving me the time, you searching up a video and then clicking on it and then actually watching it and getting something from that. That's all I could ask for. But that being said, I have decided to make a transition in my content, and I think at first I was making vlogs because I thought if I started sharing oral health information in my first or second year of dental school, just talking about what I learned in school, who was gonna listen to me? No one was gonna care what I had to say because I was still a student. I hadn't even graduated and I wasn't yet considered a doctor, an expert in anything. So who would even be interested? What I've realized is that it doesn't matter as long as you're actually sharing good quality information. And when I do receive those 3 letters at the end of my name, it's gonna be a huge accomplishment and is gonna be a representative of the hard work. But that doesn't mean that right now, as a 4th year dental student who's been seeing patients in the clinic for a year and a half, that I can't still share information that I would share with my own personal patients about a topic. All that is to say is that I'm going to be transitioning away from making vlogging videos, and I'm actually going to be launching a podcast. And the podcast is going to be longer episodes, and it's going to be me diving into topics in dentistry that people ask me about all the time. It's going to be both a great learning opportunity for me because I'm going to be able to do more research and read more articles and look into the actual evidence-based basis for some of the recommendations that we make in dentistry, and also going to be an outlet for people who maybe watching my one TikTok about this topic that was a minute long was not enough and they want to learn. So I'm gonna make a 45-minute long video or an hour-long video talking about this exact topic, where I'm going to be citing my sources and I'm going to actually talk about what is the evidence for us even making a recommendation like that. And the first episode is gonna be about good old fluoride. So if you are interested in that, or if you are coming from my TikTok and you enjoyed my content on there, or you've seen my content on Shorts or on IG, I highly encourage you to subscribe. I'm not going to be making a separate channel for the podcast. I'm just going to be posting the episodes here, and I'll try to get it out on podcasting platforms. I don't know how that works yet, but we're gonna figure it out. And of course, I'll still be posting videos here and there of things that I may be doing that may be interesting or exciting. I do actually have a conference vlog that I filmed last April of 2024 that I never got a chance to edit and post. So if you're interested in seeing little snippets of that, I would love to share both my professional journey with you guys and also me transitioning from being a student for the past 2 decades of my life, now becoming a doctor and practicing. All of that is still yet to come. Recently, I was actually rewatching some of my first videos, the first week of dental school. I vlogged when I got my first dog, Teddy. He's still around, by the way. He's just taking a nap in another room. I vlogged my first exam week in dental school. I vlogged transitioning to the pre-clinic lab and then to clinic. And all of these things that have happened, and I vlogged my rotations. I have years of footage to look back on, and I will never ever regret that. If other people find it interesting or entertaining, I love that, but honestly, I'm keeping those videos forever just because it's the last 4 years of my life. I want to continue making long-form videos to continue documenting the big moments. If you want to continue following the journey, seeing what life looks like as a dental resident for GPR in New York, and then me becoming a dentist and getting those 3 letters next to my name, I appreciate you for sticking around and still subscribing even after such a long time of me not posting. I hope you stick around for the future updates because I'm personally very excited about the next trajectory of this channel. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.